What is going on, guys? Wally here with another video, and in today's video we're talking about tank tips and tricks. That's right, some tricks and some tips. Hopefully you guys will learn from this. One of the first videos I ever did back in the day of BC2 on my old channel was tank tips and tricks, so I hope to utilize some of those same strategies and apply them here to get it to you guys and hopefully help you win more tank fights, because no one likes losing tank fights, and tanks are a lot of fun. Make some very valuable assets on the field. Map we're playing on right here is Siege of Shanghai. I'm playing 64-man Conquest. It's a lot of fun. I love this map for something like this right here. You can actually drive right through there and just power through, and this tank has no idea what I'm doing to him, so I'm giving him the business. He's smoking. He hops out. He's like, holy smokes, what just killed me? It's a great position. But in tank fights, the number one factor to winning tank fights is taking less damage than the other tanker. Now, I know that's something very, very obvious, but you'll be surprised at how many people think they can take about a gajillion bullets and live, especially with a setup without reactive armor, which is predominantly the only setup that I run. So, generally, in a one-to-one tank fight, the first thing I will ever do, when I see that enemy having an opposing barrel on me, has a shot on me, anything like that, the first thing I'm going to do is activate AP. And the reason I do this immediately in the beginning of the tank fight is this is something that you need to stay alive to use. Basically, you don't know that if down the road in the, say, 10 seconds later in your tank fight that you're going to get JDAM'd or guided missiled or something. You don't know that that's going to happen. What you do know is you're about to take a tank shot. And the understanding and the factor is always avoid the damage you know that's coming, and don't worry about the damage you don't know that's coming. That is always the factor that I employ with tank fights, and it's helped me win a majority of my tank fights, especially the ones you're going to see in a few of the sequences here on this map. Now, the main idea of tanking is setup. So setups here are mainly preference. You can get away with running a lot of different preference. I see a lot of people use Sabo Staff. A lot of people use AP LMG, and then me specifically, I use HE HMG. Very hard-hitting, heavy-hitting setup. HMG is about a 3-shot to infantry, 2-shot headshot depending on range. And HE, if you hit it right, you'll 4-shot a tank from the front plating, and you'll 2-shot a tank in the back, I believe, with reactive as well. Secondary setups, and this is more preference, but I stick to active protection because it's about the most useful, and it's basically everything you want, everything you need in one little setup. And of course, I use autoloader because HE takes a little bit longer to load, and generally when you get more HE shells out to an opponent, especially an opponent, say, using AP or Sabo, something that loads a little bit quicker, you're a little bit more viable in a one-to-one tank fight. Now, HE is not very good against infantry. You can kill with splash damage, and of course, you always kill with direct impact, but that's why you have HMG. You have HMG to utilize against enemy infantry and soft targets like the MRAPs, the buggies, the transport helicopters, anything like that. So keep that in mind while you're using it. And the second thing that I like to talk about is tank crew, and this comes to you as the driver. A tank crew is more dangerous than just one solo tanker. So if you can, recruit a buddy. Get someone in there that you know you're comfortable with and ask him to repair for you. Make sure he puts on that engineer preset because it helps out much quicker repairs. And of course, it's always good to have another Rocketeer on hand in mid-tank fight. Especially with another gun up there on top, I recommend the secondary gunner utilize that same 50 cal zoom. And not the incendiary, but the actual motion sensor proximity scan. It doesn't work the same way it used to in BF3, and BF3 is a little bit overpowered, but it works pretty well in BF4 regardless. And as you, for the tanker, your biggest utilization, of course, is a repair tool. Same thing, engineer setup, but remember, you never want to give up your tank. So if you're ever in the situation where you're going to go down with it, you know you're not going to be able to survive, don't get out of it and try to live. Just go down with the tank. Because the last thing you want is the enemy team taking your vehicle and using it against you. It's not a lot of fun. It's happened to me in the past. I've gotten dominated and destroyed by individuals who have taken my vehicles from me. It's happened to me in scrims, and suffice to say, it's a very embarrassing point of my career that I don't like to talk about. Factor that I like, basically, you're taking less damage facing your front to him. You're offsetting any potential damage from your... Same thing goes for engineers with rockets or any kind of infantry. You take less damage on your front plates regardless at all times, and you take about a little bit more on the side plates, and of course you take a whole lot of damage. You get 2-shotted by a Shra without active protection, you get 2-shotted by an RPG, I believe you get 3-shotted by a SMA in the back. It's very, very, very dangerous to allow yourself to get hit in the back. If you want to take a side shot and get disabled. It's much more beneficial than losing your entire tank to a back shot. So keep that in mind when you're out there on the field. Positioning is your #1 fan. It's your #1 factor in staying alive. Now, in the rock, paper, scissors system of Battlefield, the enemy tanks are not really your biggest concern. It's like rock versus rock. Generally, it comes down to who's more intelligent, who's got better support, and who is the better tanker that will win those fights. But your biggest enemy is paper, and that will be aircraft. So keep that in mind. If you see aircraft, do whatever you can to either get out of their line of sight, get under something, use buildings as cover, and of course, stay away from them as much as possible. Even some aircraft that you have better shots on, because even the most generic potato of a pilot will be able to kill you with a Zuni or Hydra or smart rockets on the attack helicopter, be able to drop guided bombs, or line up a few good shots with 30mm cannon to take you down. So always utilize cover whenever possible. Think about the next scenario in front of you, and never get flustered in the middle of a tank fight, because the worst thing you can do is miss shots on a recon, like in a crucial moment like that when someone's rushing at you. If I got flustered right there, I would have missed those shots and would have lost my tank. Thankfully, though, I kept my calm, I kept my cool, something that I don't normally do, but I was able to survive that. Now, I do go down pretty much right here, and this is the end of the portion of the tank tips and tricks part. It's a little bit smaller. If you guys want me to go into more detail, I can, but I want to talk to you guys about something that we're planning. So there is a montage in the works, and I want you guys to be fully aware of what we're doing, but it's not just me in this montage. You're going to see 3 other players in this montage as well. 3 guys that you may know, that you should know. And of course, some of these guys stream, do YouTube. They're good guys. They work on the Xbox side, and I have good contact with them. And this is a very interesting plan coming to you live. It should go live about the last week of August, where we're going to make a pretty substantial announcement. Well, it depends on what you think about substantial. But we're going to put a lot of effort into this. We're going to put a lot of time into this. And we're going to kind of restructure a few things that you see generally when it includes streaming, YouTube, and stuff like that. So keep in mind for that. Keep on the lookout for that. Should be a lot of fun. I want you guys to be a part of it. And of course, I'll be feeding you guys information as it comes in. But it's going to be something big. It's going to be something we're going to put a lot of time into. And we want you guys from the community to be right behind us, be playing with us, be participating in the community events that we put together and all that good stuff. But that is pretty much the video winding down. The end of the video right here, running the M4 set for the Carbine in the Carbine classes. And I love running this, especially as an engineer, because it's just so devastating. I would say it's almost overpowered. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it is. But all in all, that'll do it for me in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the tank tips and tricks. I hope you guys walked away with a little bit of help there. And if you guys have anything that I may be able to work on, or something that I don't know, I would love to hear it in the comments. If you guys have any further questions about anything, you want to know a little bit more about tanking and stuff like that, feel free to just drop a like in the comments, or say something, I want to know more about this, or Wally, you forgot about this, whatever it is, let me know. But that will do it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm out of here. Peace.